Yo, welcome to another episode of the Larry Ohh Show. I got my co-host with me, as always.
What's going on, y'all? It's John Phelps.
I'm Larry Ohh. This is an FL Studio podcast where we talk about everything FL Studio and music production related. Every single week, we give away every single one of my FL Studio and production courses to 5 people in the comments here on YouTube. All you got to do to enter is listen for that keyword, key phrase, drop it down in the comment section, and you're entered every week. 5 people get pinned in the comments.
That's right. So run it up, y'all. Run up them comments.
It's been a while, but today we have a special guest. It's been a while since we've had a guest on here.
That's right. That's right.
A good friend of mine in the producer community. We did one podcast a while back, actually pretty much a year ago now. Time flies. It's been pretty much a year. He is a Billboard producer, a YouTube producer, a YouTube creator, content creator, you name it, he does it. Yep. His credits go E40, yep. BX The Plug, Tanashi, La Russell, and so many more. He has a ton of different placements out there and Billboard charting. My boy Infinite.
Whoa, love that.
What's good?
Great intro. Great intro.
Chart
love that, man. So, man.
What's up, bro?
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for tapping in.
Hey,
how you feeling?
I feel great. Honored that y'all asked me to be on, and I'm just happy to be here, man.
Absolutely,
of course.
Bro. Been loving the videos.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Of course, bro.
Likewise.
And I think it's cool that we can do it like this now, where the podcast that we did together the first time around was at NAMM. John wasn't there, so now John's in on the mix now.
Nice to meet you.
And it was very loud and very chaotic. I think all I had was like a handheld mic, and I was like, yeah, I got this mic. You hold this mic, and I'm gonna hold this like Zoom recorder. I was like,
yes. Hey, you made it work though.
Thing. There was no, we made it work, bro. And because of like some of the the plugins out there and technology, I had some noise canceling stuff that I found, and I was able to actually, getting too far deep into it, but I was actually, there was a band playing right next to us. So if you go back and listen to the episode that we did with Infinite, you can kind of tell, but there was a band playing right next to us, and I had to like cancel out the band, and it isolated just us, it was cool.
Okay.
It was good. But now we get to really dive into stuff that you do. We got your computer up and running. He's going to be able to share his screen, go into a project that he's been working on.
Looking forward to this.
So give us some gems, FL Studio gems, FL producer. How long have you been using FL, by the way? This is a question that I always ask guests.
Yeah, since like 2017.
2017.
So
what made you want to get into it? What was the beat?
Dude, it wasn't even necessarily a beat. It was a YouTube video. So are y'all familiar with Flatbush Zombies?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Man.
I had a phase where like I really liked weird music. So I was listening to like them, Danny Brown, just like a whole bunch of just weird off the wall
Shouts out
stuff.
Danny Brown.
Yeah. And there was an episode of Rhythm Roulette. And then for the people who don't know like what Rhythm Roulette is, for like the listeners and everything, it's basically a show where like they'll get a producer, they'll put them into a record store, they'll blindfold them, they have to pick 3 records, and then they have to make a beat out of it. And that was like the first time like production got like introduced to me at the ripe age of 20. You feel me? Like, I don't know, for some reason, I never thought about the concept of a music producer. I guess just like the beat.
Did anybody in your family do music?
No, but there are people in my family that was passionate about music.
Okay.
I will say that.
So you just kind of stumbled in. I have a similar story to that too. Like nobody in my family, just kind of stumbled into it, got inspired. That's dope. That's dope to hear, because a lot of times you run into a producer and they have like, their whole families in music. So it's cool to see somebody that like starts it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Like my older brother, he had like those, I don't know what they're called, but like they're the binders that you would have like the CD disc in, and then you can flip through the CD disc like for the pages and everything like that. And
yeah, I had a lot of those.
There you go. And then I was just like blessed enough to like have an older brother that did not care if I were to like go get 3 CDs, play them, listen to them, like enjoy the music, and then just come back with them. So I had like a giant library of like old school music at my disposal, and I just like really fell in love with it, bro.
What kind of stuff did he have you listening to?
He didn't necessarily have me listening to anything, because he just had like a whole bunch of different stuff. But the things that I gravitated towards was like the Graduation album from Kanye, the Black album from Jay-Z, Godson from Nas,
nice,
Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Gangstar, a lot of that stuff. That's how everything started.
DNA, brother. Hell yeah. Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
So you were inspired by a whole different, all different styles of hip hop. How did you get into? For those of you that don't know, like, you're really big into the West Coast sound. Yeah, like, you've perfected that sound, in my opinion.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And you've put your own flavor on it too, because the stuff I hear you do is like, it has that West Coast vibe, but there's all these like little bits, and that you could tell that there's other flavors in there on top of it.
Thank you.
It's really cool. If you haven't checked it out, check out his stuff. But how did you get into producing the West Coast sound stuff?
Dude, it's just because like I live in California. You feel me? So it's like the energy is
just
there.
Part of the culture.
Yeah, it's a part of the culture. The energy is there. So like naturally just living life, you'll end up doing it because it's always around you. You feel me? Like I started listening to more like West Coast stuff when I got older, especially like when you're going out to parties, like people are slapping like Mac Dre and E40 like all the time. Mm-hmm. Like you start drinking and you hear the down purse. I do like this. Okay, let me stop.
Yes,
but like it's always around you. So I remember specifically what happened was my sister was going to do a live performance, and she's like, hey, can you get me a Mozzy type beat? And this was like 2017, 2018. And I was like, okay, like let me try to make a Mozzy beat. I've never made one before. I like scours online to try to find some type of tutorial. Luckily I found one that was like sounded good, kind of did that. I gave it to her, and then she really liked it, and I was like, dang, this beat's pretty cool, bro. And like I really like started getting interested with it because I really liked that beat. And then I was going to junior college at the time, and I played it for this guy that I knew was a rapper, and he bought the beat. So it was like the first beat sale that I made, and it just really inspired me.
The first beat you made, you got a sale off of, or the first like the first time
West Coast beat.
First West Coast beat.
Yeah, okay. I was making other stuff before.
That's still big though. That's still huge.
No, it was crazy. It was fire.
That doesn't happen.
You know what's so funny too? You know what's so funny too is that like since I was new, I didn't really have the concept of like a MP3 lease, a wave lease, an exclusive, and everything like that. So when he's like let me buy it off you, I think I went online and like looked at stuff. I just told him like, yeah, give me like $25, and then in my head like I wouldn't like give that beat to anybody else. So I kind of gave him an exclusive for like $25, which is crazy. But hey, it is what it is though.
Bro, I mean, your first West Coast beat sale.
Did he buy more?
You know what? I don't think I ever saw him again afterwards, which is kind of concerning. But you know, things worked out, so we're cool.
Good. Yeah, I hope he's doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope he's doing
all the best type shit. So you said you don't have any like you don't like have much musical family members. Is that what kind of you were saying and all that?
Yeah, none of my family members play music.
That's incredible, man, because one thing that I love about your beats is like the musicality of them. Like one thing, like you've just got a good grasp on the melodies, the chords. Obviously the EQ and the mixing is on point as well. But like I was listening to that I don't know, you made a Babytron type beat on your channel, and I was like listening to that earlier, and I was like, oh, this dude's insane with the chords and all that. So what was your journey like through kind of learning about music?
Man, there's this guy named like Larry Ohh. Like he be putting out like these tips online. Nah. But basically I would just like watch a whole bunch of tutorials and just try to soak up game like that, and then I would also just try to create as much as possible too. So it's just like learn and then take that information and try to apply it to my music and just rinse and repeat. And that's really what it was.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man.
Always with FL?
Yeah, always.
Oh shit.
Kinda. You know what? So I'll make this like super quick because if I don't, I'll just end up rambling off. I started with FL, and then like I literally could not make a beat to save my life. I literally could not put something together. You know what I mean? Because like this, like 2017, like there wasn't really that many tutorials out there, so like it's not like how it is now. So I gave up for a cool minute. I tried to make stuff, wouldn't work. I couldn't even make something that I could listen to, like a loop or anything. And then I ended up taking a music production class at like the junior college I was going to at the time, and that was in.
They had that?
Yeah,
they actually had one.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, and then but they taught you in Logic. But the issue is like they didn't really teach you like, okay, this is how you make a minor chord. It was like kind of like stacking loops on top of each other and kind of understanding like how to put sounds together. That's kind of more what it was. So like it did
probably all on the teacher, whoever's in there, like it's however the teacher learned and produces. That's how they're gonna teach, essentially, I guess, right?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, but I tried doing the Logic thing. That still low key didn't work out for me. But then I went to FL again. So maybe like 2 months I was with Logic.
Wow.
FL gang.
Yeah, FL gang. Yeah. I was with Logic at one point too. I ran studio sessions in this other dude's studio. He needed, because he did videography, and he needed somebody to come in and run his sessions, and he used Logic for whatever reason in his studio sessions. So I had to come in. I had to learn Logic. I think that's what it's really good for. It's good for like audio stuff and like playing instruments or playing keys, like playing stuff into it. At that point anyways, it was not good at all for like clicking in what I was used to doing already. Like I was already used to piano roll, clicking in stuff, step sequencer, and Logic just didn't have any of that really. I think they barely had something even close to the piano roll.
Right, they got the loops and they got the input down.
But they've had a lot of stuff because FL has been just like taken over the whole industry pretty much. Like they have implemented things that are FL Studio-esque, just like a lot of other DAWs have, because it's just what works and what everybody's used to now. And there's so much content about it. That brings me to a question that I had been wanting to ask you, and I don't think I got to ask you this at NAMM either. So I said in the intro, you know, you're a Billboard producer, so you go after placements. That's one of your goals, to get placements, work with artists. But also, from the way I found out about you years ago is through your content. So you're also a content creator, but you gear your content towards more producers. So how do you find, and we were talking about balance before I think we even started recording, but like, how do you balance, you know, you going in and being a producer looking and seeking placements, and balance that with you being a content creator who gears his content towards other producers?
Man, I think there's a world where you can do both. But at first I was trying to do everything at one time, and it wasn't really working out because it's like multitasking. You never really give anything 100%. So everything kind of comes out like, I don't know. Can we curse on here? Yay, nay? Yeah. So everything kind of comes out like half-assed. You feel me? So, luckily I did get this one right here in like 2021. And that's when I was doing everything at one time, and everything was going well, but I was like super burnt out because I was working a job at the same time. But at this point in my life right now, I actually am only focused towards content and creating and releasing kits. And luckily, through doing that, I still end up getting opportunities where I get placements and stuff like that. So one that happened recently was with Big X The Plug. That one was,
I saw that one.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to get a placement with that one. So that one, it was just like, I make content and everything like that. And then someone that I've known for a while, his name's Chef. He just hit me up one day. He's like, hey, I'm going to go to a Big X The Plug session. Like, do you want to send anything through? And I was like, yeah, I'll just make something real quick. And I sent it off. And then like
what'd you send?
Stuff. I just sent like a FLP. So like I got a Rick James sample, chopped it up, added like a couple little drums on there. And then I sent it over to him so he could like add more stuff, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That's perfect for X too.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that like I wasn't focused on getting placements. I was really just focusing on building my own brand and building my own value. And I ended up getting probably like the one of the bigger songs I'm going to be producing, because that one charted higher than this one right here.
Wow.
You feel me? So that one, it hit
it's
like,
just from creating content.
Yeah, creating content. People just like always thinking about you. Because to this day, I still don't know why he hit me up. Because like, you know, like I'm the West Coast guy. Why did someone who's making trap like hit me up? You know what I mean? So I think just if you really focus on building your own brand, your own value, and you put yourself out there like a lot, whenever people get opportunities and they're like, okay, I need someone else for this, I want to tap in with someone, they're going to think about you because they're constantly seeing you. You know what I mean?
So true.
Yeah.
And people forget quick. Like if you go ghost for a little bit on social media, a month could it feel to people on social media in that world, being gone and being not visible for a month or two, it's like a year.
Yeah.
It feels like a year to people online. So just being in front of people constantly, consistently, putting out really good content like you do. And
Thank you.
I mean, that opportunities just come. Like you put out quality music, quality content, and you're consistent. I'm always seeing you. So, I mean, you're doing all those things right. I guess my follow-up question to that is like, how important is it for a producer? I think you kind of already answered it in a way, but how important is it for a producer to create content? For those producers that are sitting at home right now watching this and they're saying, I don't like creating content. I'm not good at creating content. I'm good at making music. I guess, what do you say to those producers?
I'll touch on the latter part of that question first, where it's like, I'm not good at making content, but I am good at making music. I mean, at one day, like, you weren't good at making music. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to start from zero and just work your way up. Like, you weren't good at making music when you started, but now you're good. The same thing's going to happen when you're starting to do content creation. Just
Right.
when someone
that's
is
a bar, bro.
Thank you. When people are already good at something, they're kind of afraid to become a beginner again in a different type of field, because no one really likes being a beginner. No one likes being bad at something. So I think that fear kind of holds people back a lot, but it's really unnecessary. You feel me? Because no matter what you do, you're going to have to become a novice at it first.
So true.
But yeah, but the beginning part of the question that you asked, dude, just doing content is super important, at least to me and like my goals and everything like that. Because the way I look at it is, it's like the true independence of a music producer. I can't tell you how many times I've went to studio sessions and I've linked up with other producers that like I look up to, and then they're sitting there telling me like, bro, I'm trying to do what you're doing right now because you can do you don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to depend on artists. You don't have to do any, like, you just got to worry about you and what you put out. Like, I've had that conversation so many times, and it really put me into the mentality of like, okay, maybe the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes we kind of got it good over here. You feel me? Like sometimes it ain't that bad. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I mean, we can't take it for granted, because I feel like the same way. Like, I've had conversations like that even with myself, because I've done the group thing, I've done the duo thing, I've done the band thing, I've done the, relying on other people thing, and me doing a lot of work type of thing. And I look back at those days and feel like, I don't have to rely on anybody. I mean, it's a little bit more pressure on myself, and there's nobody to blame now. Now there's nobody to blame if shit doesn't work but me. You know what I'm saying? Which, there's more pressure in that aspect. But I love it. I love just doing like my own thing. I love working with other people still, but there's no relying on other people. There's no relying on artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's none of that. Like, we don't have to do that. We can, as producers, there's so many different ways that you could make a living, make money, clearly, through content, through sample packs, through education. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Sync licensing. There's all these things that I think you should dabble in a few as a producer, because there's a lot of producers that still have the same mentality of like, the only way I'm going to make it as a producer is if I get a placement with an artist and that song blows up.
Right. And I think it gives you guys a lot more opportunity to pivot how you need to.
Yeah.
Because everything is kind of like, in business, you would call it vertically integrated. So you have your production, your music production on point. You have your visual production, your content production, your social media branding. You're the guy that you're checking in with to make sure that stuff is, meeting the mark. So you're not, relying solely on placements, solely on band.
Because you can't.
Yeah.
Because you can't rely.
You got to diversify.
You have to. And you have to find time to diversify as well. Like, you have to, that's where it gets complex and it gets difficult. Like, you have to balance a little bit. But I think Infinite, I think you're doing it in a really cool way that kind of just works. Like, you kind of just stumbled upon a thing, you know what I mean? Like, where you were just creating content and something, and other opportunities come out of you creating content.
Yeah, your TikToks are awesome, bro. I was just scrolling through them and I was loving it. I was like, this is a great way to like digest this dude's content.
Appreciate that.
For sure.
I'm really happy with where my TikTok is right now. I really like my short form content because like, dude, I have went through multiple different phases of like what type of content I post on TikTok. And I feel like I got the one that's like, I really like this and I'm really proud of this. And then also on top of that, like the numbers are reflecting it too. Like my average views and average likes for like the TikToks I've been putting out have been substantially higher than what they have been like for the past few years.
Yeah, your TikTok's killing it, bro.
Thank you.
How do you go about, because as a producer with the style of content that you put out there, like when you stumbled upon that video that worked, that style that worked, what do you think is the most important part of that video that really that makes it work? Is it the hook? Like, is it, or is it like everything about the video? Because I feel like your hooks are just like so catchy, and it seems like you spend a good amount of brain power on the hooks in those videos, like the first 2 seconds.
Yeah, I do definitely put a lot of effort into the hooks. But you know what? I think that I've done it so many times that I don't really necessarily need to like put a lot of effort into it anymore. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like second nature. Like it just feels natural.
You got a formula down.
Yeah. You feel me? So like if I'm making like a blast type beat, I'll try to find some type of value in it or some thing that is interesting within it and then use that as the hook. You feel me? Like,
all right.
Like for instance,
are you creating the content? Or this is a one that I thought of too. Like, are you creating the music first and then creating the content, or are you thinking of content ideas and then creating the music?
Dude, my life has been so crazy lately that it's just everything and anything.
Yeah, yes, sir.
It's definitely been a few.
And how you live.
Yeah, dude. There's some where like I've made the beat and then like I'll make content around it. There's others where like I'm making the beat and I just turn on the camera and I'm like, hey, whatever comes from this comes from this. If I have to delete this video, then oh well.
Yeah. You just get inspired to make a video and like, all right, I'm making something. If it comes out good, it comes out good.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Everything and anything.
That's the thing that I try to impart upon people is like, just do what you're doing and just turn the camera on.
Yeah.
And what comes from it comes from it.
Yeah.
Sit down, make the beats just the same way that you were before. But this time, either it's a point and shoot DSLR camera or it's an iPhone or whatever you got, man. Literally whatever you got.
Yeah.
And what it looks like with your videos that are going up and up and up, it's like you got the screen share and you've got just the camera that we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
And you got, obviously the audio of it. And it's a beautiful thing to just be like locked in, doing what you want to do. Maybe you've had a stressful week or whatever. You sit down, make some beats, turn the camera on, put it to TikTok.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Don't overthink it, man. Just love it. Love the process.
100%.
I think it might be keyword time, and I wanted to ask you and put you on the spot where we do a giveaway every single week, every single one of my FL Studio courses from youhelpme.com, and I was wondering if you wanted to give something to those 5 people as well.
Oh, like you I give
like a pack of yours, anything.
Oh yeah, we could do that. You know what? I'm actually working on a G-Funk drum kit that I'm gonna be releasing this week, so we can give that out for free.
All right, dope. 5 of them.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's do 10.
All right, dope. 10. Well, we do 5. We do 5. You want to do 10? We're gonna do 10 this week.
Let's turn it up, brother.
All right. Let's do 10. Let's do 10. I'll match his the other 5. So we'll do 10 winners this week. So the intro's wrong. We'll do 10 winners this week, where every single person that comments infinite in the comment section with 3 eyes, you have to put the 3 eyes.
3 eyes.
If you don't do 3 eyes, you lose.
Thank you for saying that. That's so funny.
If everybody's got to comment infinite, and you'll be automatically entered into winning every single one of my FL Studio courses and Infinite's G-Funk pack that he's dropping this week.
Yeah.
There you have it. 10 winners this week. We're doing 10. We're doubling it.
So drop it in the comments on YouTube. Infinite with 3 eyes.
A little reward for the people
disqualified
who have good audience retention. A little reward for y'all. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're here now and you've waited and you've watched and you've listened, present for double the amount of people that we normally do. So I guess we can segue into a session that you said you have pulled up. and just maybe do like a dive into it and just bring it up. I have no plan right now whatsoever. I just want to hear what you got and maybe do a little breakdown of some sounds that you made and how you created some of that.
Yeah, of course. So there is a song that I released with Mozzy called GOT EEM, and I really like the beat just because it's like dark, it's aggressive. Oh yeah, we should probably cut that
Mozzy's
out.
so ill.
Yeah, and I just had a lot of fun making the beat, and it was really cool because like when I made the beat, I was like, I'm going to make a Mozzy type beat today, and then luckily, like I don't know, 6-7 months later, ended up locking it in with him.
That's awesome. Wow.
Hell yeah.
And is this when you had that mentality of going into it making a Mozzy type beat, was this the only one that you made like that? Or did you like start a couple and like, nah, trash, or was this it right away?
Dude, no. I made 2 beats when I decided to like make a Mozzy type beat. I made 2 and they both got placed with them.
Wow.
Come on.
So it was really
That's
cool.
awesome,
It was
bro.
really cool. Very, very, very happy about it. So I'm gonna go in order from what I remember when making the beat. You feel me? So I'm pretty sure when I started, I usually always start with like some type of melody. Lately, I've been starting with drums. I will say that for the past
It's
month
good to
or
switch
two,
it up, dude.
I've been starting with drums and
up.
I've really been liking it. But this is at my phase where like I'm starting with melodies all the time.
Okay.
So we just got this little keyscape piano right here, the classical one, effects, just EQ, delay, reverb, and let me mute the love filter real quick because it'll affect it. But this is what it sounds like. So
Nice.
like dark, kind of cinematic, simple, repetitive. Like that's like really the vibe I was going for. I didn't want to do too much with the melody because I knew I wanted to go crazy with the drums. Luckily with West Coast stuff,
That's a gem right there.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes
You're
sir.
saving the space for the drums. You want to have like kind of over the top style drums. You got to save room for it. Or else it'll be too busy.
Yeah, you have to leave some type of room. And luckily with like West Coast rappers, they kind of space their bars out a little bit more. So sometimes with the drums, you can get a little bit more busy than how you would with like a trap rapper or so.
Gotcha.
Then I love adding things that just add impact. You feel me? So like when it first hits on that first bar, that bah, you feel me? Like it gives like more feeling to it. So I got this little tubular bell.
Hell yeah. I know that bell. I'd be watching your videos, bro.
Yeah, I use that bell all the time. It's a favorite one.
Hell yeah, dude. The bell.
And then I ended up taking the piano, I exported it and I reversed it. I believe I threw some effects on it too. Yeah, like Portal, reverb,
Portal's fire.
EQ. Yeah.
So you have the reverse piano. Are you playing it on top of the normal?
No,
played out
it's
piano?
it's the same piano. I just bounced it out and reversed it and like threw effects on
Gotcha.
it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then it ended up sounding like this.
Thinned it out.
Yeah.
Is that because like the low end? What was the low end like? Kind of clashing in there, low and mids.
You know what? The goal was really just to get like a texture in the background.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why I took out like the low ends and everything like that. I just
Yeah.
wanted some like kind of in the background. You barely notice it unless you're like really, really listening to it.
No, but it fills up some space in a way where it doesn't sound like too overpowering.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that's perfect.
Absolutely. And then I got this vocal from my IIInfinite's Essential 2024 drum kit. And it's actually made by Daniel Saint. I commissioned him to do some vocals for the kit. Shout out Daniel Saint Music. He's extremely. Do y'all know who Daniel Saint is?
No.
I'll send you his
familiar,
IG
man.
page afterwards.
Yeah, send it.
He's really talented. He's like one of the people where I'm like, yeah, he's next up, bro.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this is the vocal that he made. But yeah, that's like his voice. Like that's him.
Damn.
You feel me?
Can you play that with the piano like together, like
Yeah, of
just
course.
those?
Just the
Like, what do you
piano.
have? It seems like you got the piano, the bell, the
Yeah.
vocal, and the reverse together right there.
Yeah. That's
Is
like
that like your hook?
yeah, it's like the second. No, that's the verse. That's when the
Gotcha.
verse starts. So the intro I put a Fruity Love filter on it just so it has that filter.
Oh, yep, I see that automation. Yeah.
Yeah. It starts off like that and then it fades out. Starts introducing the other sounds and then everything drops in right here on the hook, and then on the verse, the first part, just to give like some what's it called, variation. That's the word I was looking for.
Yep.
I added the vocal right there.
Dope.
And then also I got the this violin phrase from Logan. I do not know how to say his last name, but it's like Logan Pielico or something like that. Hold on, let me find him real quick.
It's out Logan.
Yeah, this guy. Accent Essentials. That's bro. He hooked it up for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how you have your packs laid out like that.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to stay as organized as possible, bro. You should already know because like you're like an influencer as well. Like people just send you a whole bunch of stuff. So I have like too many kits. You know what I mean? So like
me too, bro.
Yeah. So just I have to try to stay like somewhat organized with everything.
Yeah.
But melodically, this is what all it sounds like here.
Smooth. Hey,
It's Mozzy all day, bro.
But yeah. Then
That's
after
good,
that,
bro.
I was like, that's enough. You feel me? Like it's time to start going with the drums and start going crazy with it.
Yeah, your drums
Shoestring on
always
a
crazy.
stupid thing.
Thank you.
Brother. Smooth, man.
Hell yeah. Solo out just the drums.
This is all the drums by itself.
Yeah, bro.
The ear candy.
Yes, sir.
Woof.
Yeah.
Everything got its own pocket, you know?
Yeah.
Everything is in its own little spot.
100%. That's one of the reasons
So
why
good.
I love West Coast music, because it's one of the few genres where it kind of like encourages you to add percussion and sound effects, whereas like a trap, I feel like they really encourage you to make everything like super simple. So just getting like crazy and freaky with like the sound effects and perks and everything like that is just super fun to me.
So good. I heard like little not toms, but they're acting as toms. The little fills that you have in there,
Oh yeah, I got toms in here for sure.
they are toms. What are they, like 808 toms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do.
And then would you throw reverb on those?
Dude, good. No, I think I probably threw reverb on it when like I got the sound. You feel me?
Gotcha. So yeah, there is it, but it just has its like own pocket. Can you play that real quick now that we're kind of focusing on those toms? Just play it one more time. That's it. Like I just heard that and I was like, let me hear that.
Dude, I love
He like
little
the hi-hat
ear candy
god.
things, man. Shit. Hey, let's
it's
get
very
to the
just
hi-hats
like-
then real quick,
Yeah.
Facts.
dude. Like, I love doing spaced out like rolls and hi-hats and stuff like this. Like, you can always do like a little two-step like this and everything, but dude, just like having these spaced out rolls and everything, it just makes it way more fun to me.
Would you say, like, in your experience, the difference between like the West Coast hats and the Detroit style hats is the like how, I guess, in depth the hats go sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. Because I would say Detroit hi-hats are kind of styled more like trap hi-hats, where it's like based around a two-step, and it has like rolls here and there and everything like that. When you go to kind of like Flint, They do kind of do like the more spaced out ones, like this right here, stuff like that. But even when like Flint producers do that, it still tends to be very like simple and spaced out. It doesn't really get as like intricate like this right here. They do a better job of keeping it simple in that way, which is like super fun.
Can you play those hats by themselves one more time? Like, do you have it sounds like you have velocity stuff going on in there, like the note velocities in that tab down there?
Yeah, I changed the velocities, and I also believe I have reverb and delay on them.
Nice.
EQ, delay, reverb, which is not normal. I don't normally do that, but I guess that day I was feeling freaky or something, bro.
Yeah, you had the space for it. Yeah. If you got the space for it and it sounds good, like you said earlier, like you kept the melodic stuff pretty simplistic to the point where you could get busier drums and them not sound like the beat is just like too much. You know what I mean? So like adding reverb or delay on a hi-hat like fills out that little bit of space maybe that you might be lacking in the high end. It just kind of just opens that up.
Yeah.
In those high frequencies.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Got that one part that just goes into a little triplet.
Oh, this right part there? Right
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. That's funny that you point that out. That's like one of my favorite combos to do.
Yeah, that'll
like
get me every time,
one.
Bro.
Yeah,
every time.
Because it just like I don't know, just like it feels like things just go like in slow motion, but stay in the same timing for you know what I'm saying? Like
they hit the Matrix.
You're bobbing your head. Yeah, it's like some Matrix shit. Because you're consistent, and then you're waiting for that the next time around. It catches you off. That's what's so good about music, like throwing subtle things in there like that in your beats and your hi-hat patterns and just in your beats in general. Throwing little subtle things like that may catch somebody off guard, and then they're stuck waiting for it. Like somebody like me anyways, where I'm like really honed in on little details like that in production. Now next time I'm waiting for that the next time that part rolls around, the next 4 bars or 8 bars later or whatever the case is.
Yeah, for
sure. And I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, dude, switching up grooves within your drums like can definitely be beneficial for you sometimes, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this is like a, what is it, like a 1/2 roll? It's like the, what is it?
Quarter?
Yeah, maybe quarter. Yeah, it's a quarter. And then these ones right here are on like the 1/6 beat. And just like switching them up, it definitely creates those more like unique pockets like that you were talking about that kind of stick out to you.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So also, good. And then I see you got some like audio effects going on too.
Audio effects. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like down the bottom.
Oh, like this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
ear candy, bro. Like you love putting that ear candy in there, and it just takes it to the next level. There's a lot of producers that don't like, they have like a really good beat that they've produced, and then it just needs that little extra step. And some of it is structure, and some of it is little things like this. I can only call them like ear candy, like some audio effects, risers, impacts, just stuff going on in the background that just takes you away from the transition, or like just gives you like some sort of anticipation into the next part.
100%. That's exactly what I was going for too when I was doing this. So this is like a little triangle riser that I made. So it's basically made by getting a regular triangle sound, reversing it, and throwing effects on it. And like if you listen to like Detroit music, West Coast music, you'll hear that a lot.
That's fire. Yeah. Can you play that part going into the next part, like in the full beat?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because now that you hear that, and now you hear it in context, like when I point stuff like that out to, like, I don't know, for instance, like my wife that doesn't know production, she knows like I make music and stuff, but like I'll point something out. You just hear that? She's like, no, I didn't hear that. I'm like, I'm rewinding it, and I'm like, you got to hear this. Like, listen to that thing in the background that just did that.
Are you the person that goes into the club, be like, "Hey, did you guys know the 808s are out of tune on this one?"
Yeah, I can't enjoy anything. I can't enjoy nothing, bro. I'm like,
That's
listen,
so funny.
like people must just be like, yo, shut up and enjoy it.
You're sitting.
But
in
I'm
the,
like,
you're
picking
sitting in the
every
corner.
detail out.
You're sitting in the corner, like they don't even know this is sampled from a TR-808.
Yeah, for real, for real, yeah. Like, you know where this sample is from? Like, no,
funny,
man,
bro.
but grab me a drink, will you?
That's all funny. All right, let me play it real quick.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, but it definitely helps everything
And
kind of
everything
like
together,
more.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of that together, like that reverse triangle, and it goes into the bell. And not that they're even really necessarily hitting the same note. They might be close, but like the triangle's so high pitched that like it doesn't really matter if it's in tune per se. But just all that stuff, that reverse triangle going into that bell,
It's all about vibe.
bro.
Vibes.
It's just like attention to detail when you're listening to other people's music. That's what makes you a better producer, in my opinion. If you have attention to detail as a listener, it's going to make you a better producer.
Right. Now your 808. Listen, man. That 808 sounds amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got a little bit of EQ going on with that. You mind pulling that up and showing us a little bit of your 808 game?
Nothing.
Wow, it just bangs like that
Nada.
straight out
There's
the
nothing
gate.
on
What do you use it?
Yeah.
Spins?
Yeah, it's a spin.
Yeah, it's
so, you know what it is? Like there was an 808 that was like really popular in like West Coast production. It was called like the beefed up spins from I want to say it was an E-Chisel kit. This one was going viral basically. Where is it? It's that one.
Yeah.
So when I was like doing a drum kit and everything, I wanted to add a spins in there because like it's basically mandatory. It's super funny because like when I was making the drum kit, I didn't have it in there, but then I showed it to somebody to get like feedback. They're like, "Where's the spins?" I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll add one." So I kind of modeled it after that one, where like I'm boosting it and I'm EQing it so much that when you put it into the beat, you don't need to do anything to it when you're actually making the beat. Because I remember I would get certain 808s, like even with that beefier 808 that I just showed y'all, I would always make some type of tweak to it. I would shorten it. I would hit the out knob. I would do X, Y, and Z and everything, like trying to get it to hit exactly how I wanted it. And I noticed that like, okay, I'm doing this every single time I'm making a beat. I just need to get an 808 where I don't need to do that, and it hits exactly how I want it to every time.
Out the pack.
Yeah. So
And I notice what you do a lot is like, and I think in West Coast beats and in trap in general, I think. But what I notice what you do a lot and what makes the 808 hit even harder, and it's probably, I mean, it's not a hidden gem or a secret or anything like that, but when you throw certain open hi-hats on the 808s, it brings it to another level. And I always notice it with your production. Like, I think that there's, again, that attention to detail with the open hi-hats that you choose to pair with the Spins 808. Can you like dive into that a little bit?
There's no method or like reasoning on why I choose specific ones. It's more of like a vibe thing. You know what I mean? I'll just play it, and if I like how they sound together, I'll rock with it, and then if not, I'll just try to find a different one. But yeah,
Gotcha.
like, dude, the open hats, like for sure. I love layering open hats with it, bro. I just love like the sound and the textures that you get with it.
It makes it feel like it's distorted more, like it punches through more. Like, but you don't necessarily put them on every single 808 hit though.
Nah. It's just vibes. But usually always the first one. The first one usually always. That's probably like the only thing. The only two things that I will say is kind of like methody with it is that one, I like choosing more shorter open hats or like quicker open hats. And then usually I always put it on the one, or I'll put like a stomp on the one, just because like how I said earlier, I like things that give beats more impact, just so it hits.
I noticed the
as hard
stomps
as it
in there
can.
too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this one. Yeah, it's like a really quick short open hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like a clutch. Like if somebody was playing the drums and they lifted up the pedal and then put it back down almost.
Ooh, you are talking about things I know nothing about.
That's kind of what it's based. That's what like a lot of 808s are kind of based. I mean, open hi-hats are based on, like the fact that you have a hi-hat cymbal where it's the two cymbals, and like somebody would be stepping on a pedal and they would have it closed and they hit it, but simultaneously lift their foot up so the hi-hat opens up, and then they close it while it's ringing out, so it muffles that sound.
That's why they call it an open hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Open hat.
Yeah,
Closed hats, open hats.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you can't tell, I do sound design in Serum.
Yo, for real.
But yeah, man. Anything else you want to that catches your eye?
The stomps a little bit. Let's go into the
yeah, for
stomps.
sure,
I think
for
the
sure,
stomps
for
are
sure.
fire.
Yeah, stomps.
Yeah, because stomps are kind of like underrated. I feel like I don't hear them as much. So I was stoked when I heard your stomp game is crazy, bro.
You utilize the stomps a decent amount. Are they like? Because I listen to a lot of different genres, but maybe it's something that I haven't noticed. Are stomps used a lot in West Coast beats? Would you feel?
Yeah, it's for sure like one of our things, for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I'll just use it as okay, let me put it like this. In this beat, I was alternating the things that would give impact to the 808. So like I didn't want to layer every single 808 with the open hat because I would get kind of annoying. So some of them I use it with the open hat, some of them I use it with the stomp. So if we like listen to these ones, like they're layered.
Gotcha.
So like boom, the 808 and then the stomp. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So it's just to give some type of variation from the open hats.
Yeah.
So we play them together. Yeah, so like it's kind of like it's a little team effort thing. You feel me? Everything's contributing to the 808 hitting harder.
It's something so simple, but yet like so intricate at the same time, because when you really break it down like that, I mean, you're really you're deep diving into this, because you would hear this beat and you wouldn't think that it was that complex. But I guess the goal is to make it sound so simple, yet the way you get there is kind of complex in a way.
Yeah, 100%.
Like little things like that, like just alternating the fact that you have this 808 pattern and you're basing, what you're doing is you're basing that that open hat and the stomp off of what your 808 pattern is. That's a gem in and of itself.
Yeah, 100%.
Cushion, man.
Yeah,
Rhythm
and then the
section goes
goal.
crazy.
Thank you. And then the goal on top of that too is to have so much repetition in your beats to the point where these complex or unique like tactics that you would use to make the beat feel second nature to you. Because like you broke it down like that, but when I'm making beats, I don't even really think about it too much. Like I definitely think to like, I wanted to add extra impact, so I do this, and that. But it's like, it's not like I was sitting in the lab for like 2 days. Like, how am I gonna do this? You know what I mean? It was like, it was more of like a, oh yeah, this is just what I do. You know what I mean? So it's like, so it's kind of like that. So it's just kind of do it as much as possible. So like, your second nature is to always do these more complex things. You feel me?
Right.
So I got a little bit of a random question, but do you hop into the step sequencer for the majority of like the production, or do you drop patterns into the playlist and like add them through that measure, or are you doing it all in the step sequencer?
I usually do it all in the step sequencer, and then I'll do the split by channel right here, and then I'll bring them all out.
Smooth.
Yeah. And then when I bring them into the, I don't know if your audience knows this, you feel me? But like, click on the first one, hold down shift, click on the very last one. And then
Oh my God, no way. I didn't know that. You know what
Come
I'm
on,
doing, bro,
come
when
on,
I do
come
that?
on. Full circle, bro. Come on.
Yo, you just taught me something. I was almost there, but I had a feeling you were gonna like, because I've seen people do it, and I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I know that if I hold shift and I just click, but I'm clicking every single one individually.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you could
top
just
do it.
click the top one and click the bottom one, because I've always tried to just, what you should be able to do is click and drag. Like, why can't you just click, drag, and highlight all of those things in the left column and then drag them out?
Yeah, there you go. That's
You learn something new every day.
Hey, full
Infinite
circle, man.
gems right there.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought Lil old me would be teaching Larry?
Yo, look at that, man.
One thing that I noticed in some of your videos, is that you like to use, John's gonna really appreciate this,
Okay.
parametric EQ1.
Oh, my guy. My guy over here. Hell yeah.
Shout, you
You're
know
an
what?
EQ1 and the little baby EQ down in the corner kind of guy. He likes he uses both of those.
Come on, bro.
I seen it when he was just showing us some
That's
in
why
this
his
video.
beats hit so hard.
Yeah, he's using parametric one.
Yeah. That's why they sound the way they do, man.
Hey, shout out my
Yes,
guy
sir.
Ellis. Shout out my guy Ellis Lost, bruh. He's the one who put me onto the parametric EQ1. Because he would put it on his master. He basically does this for the most part. Not this exact EQ curve, but like he would just be like, hey, Fruity Soft Clipper, default settings at the bottom, and then at the top, you feel me? Throw that parametric EQ1, turn the highs up, and do whatever else you need to do. And that's really how I got it, bro.
You know why? I think that might sound better a little bit. It might sound better than doing it with the parametric EQ2. I just think that EQ is like, I don't know how else to word it, but I think it's just a stronger EQ. I feel like you'll hear a noticeable difference if you do, I don't know, like just like a few dB on that versus a few dB on the parametric EQ2. I just feel like that's a stronger EQ than parametric 2 is. I don't know. Could
You know
be just
what?
me.
I'm not sure because I've never really looked into it like that. I do it just because it's simple. You feel me? Just kind of like how like the old school EQs, it'll be very like basic. It'll be like turn this knob, turn this knob, turn this knob, and like that's it. That's kind of how I look at this one too. It's like I can open up parametric EQ2 and get the same job and do this and everything like that. But sometimes it's just easier just to open up one and then move this one up a tiny bit. You know what I mean? Rather than like opening this one and making sure you're getting the curve right and
You're right.
everything
You're right.
like that.
Yeah,
you feel me? It's more of
can end up
a
with
simplicity thing.
Yeah.
With the EQ too, a lot of people can kind of overdo it too, where like, you know, you getting into the bells and you get into all the, you know, you might end up doing too much. And I think with the more analog approach, or like what looks like a more analog interface, you're kind of like getting more in tune with what the tool itself is doing and how it's manipulating the signal.
Right.
Yeah. So like
Great. I'm stoked you like that, man.
Yeah. So like the visuals with like the EQs and everything like that, they can be like a really good thing for you or a really bad thing for you, because sometimes you get too caught up into the visuals that you won't even listen to what you're doing. You won't even listen to what you're actually doing. Well, when as opposed to an EQ like this where it has like way less visuals, you kind of focus more on what you're hearing. And when we're doing like the music stuff and everything like that, that's like a much more valuable trait to have. But I will say the visual stuff helps sometimes. I will say that.
It's helped me, but it has also definitely hurt me in some ways where I had to stop myself and realize, or somebody tell me that, hey, you know, go into that EQ sounds off or whatever, because I was solely relying on visuals. But that's how I did learn a lot though. So it's good in the sense of it will teach you, because it's for a lot of people that are just getting into the mixing thing and the production thing, they don't know, you know, what that EQ is doing. Even if you tell them to pay attention to this, like it's hard for people to understand and hear that, as well as compression. Compression was harder for me. That's probably the last thing I learned how to listen for, right? And I still to this day have a little bit of a hard time hearing like complex compression and little bits of compression. And the visuals have really helped me. So I utilize, you know, a 50-50 split between the visual and just using my ear. But yeah, I totally agree with you that it's sometimes simpler is better, even when it comes to plugins and mixing.
Yeah, 100%, man.
A piece of advice I got once was like, if you're trying to figure out what effect the compressor is having on your signal, just turn it all the way up.
Yeah.
Go through, scrape it, scrub through, and just see how it's affecting the signal. You know, and that was when I put two and two together. When I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. Check that out.
You know what? I do that like a lot till this day.
Yeah,
like, for
exactly.
any effect. If I'm not really sure exactly what it's doing, I'll just turn like the dry wet knob all the way up and just be like, okay, like let's hear it at its most extreme, and then you can kind of like start turning it down. It's like, oh, that's what it's doing. It's like, I feel like that's a really effective way to understand like what's happening to your sounds.
Yeah, it's huge. Just turn it up. Listen for what it's doing.
Turn it up.
But yeah, I think we're getting there. I think we're gonna have to wrap it at this point.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode. Really appreciate you joining us, Infinite.
Yeah, man.
So
Thank you
much.
for coming.
Thank you, bro.
If there's anything that you want to plug, that you got any kits dropping or kits that are out right now, your website, where can people find it? I'll obviously link everything down in the description for everybody watching right now on YouTube.
Yeah, dude, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. Very happy to be here. Dude, honestly, just check out some of the videos, check out some of the content. That's what I would appreciate. Don't cost you nothing. You feel me? Just check it out. See if you like it. If you like it, stay here. If you don't like it, that's cool.
All right.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. I'll link everything. I'll link his info down in the description below. Again, Infinite, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you as always. And if you haven't, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe to us and Infinite. And as always, share this with a friend if you get me.